popular demand, I had a couple requests for this since I just posted my haul video up tonight. We're going to do a review of the, it's not a DC Classics, it's a DC Superheroes Steel. And it's pretty much the same line, and some people will argue with me over that or not, but I mean, more or less, it's a 6-inch DC figure that's articulated. I consider those pretty much all in the same category as the DC Universe Classics, the ones I've been collecting. Same thing with the DC Signature Collection. It's DC Universe Classics. They all fall underneath the same banner, so to speak. So anyway, this is US Agent 27. I am from the MUCollectorClub.com forums. If you haven't come check this out, make sure you come check us out and see what we're all about. We talk about toys on there. We have contests. You know, we have a lot of things planned for this year, so I really hope you guys do come out and give us a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I know a couple people have come across my videos on YouTube, and then they've gone to the site and they're really enjoying it, so I'd like to see you guys all do that. And if you are on the site, you know, by all means, let me know that you watched the video, or post a comment or anything like that. Anyway, let's get on to the review. So we have up here Steel, and again, he was from the DC Superheroes line. This was the line that was predating the DC Universe Classics. My understanding is they could only use Batman and Superman characters. That's why we only saw a couple of characters. And Steel himself actually has a variant, and I think this is the variant. I'm not really sure, but there's another one out there where the S, his Superman emblem, is a matte, kind of like this plastic over here. It's not shiny. Very cool figure. I'm gonna, I don't want to spoil the end of the review for you guys, but I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up. Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, let's take a look at his accessory that he comes with, and he does come with an accessory. He comes with his steel hammer, if you will, and all it is it's a piece of plastic with a handle on it. It's got a lot of nice detail in there. Oh, sorry, let's see, you can see that. Let the camera focus. There it goes. A lot of nice little detail in there, kind of like electronic doodads and built into his hammer. My understanding is that he was a weapons designer, and he kind of built the suit. Nice little rivets. Very much like Iron Man from Marvel, but very cool character nonetheless. So that's his hammer, and it does sit very easily in his hands. We'll talk about that when we get into articulation. Let's take a look at the figure himself, and you just get looking forward. So here is a front view, and I'm going to pan the camera down. There are his legs. And real quick, he does stand very well. I am super, super impressed with this figure. Let me back up the camera a little bit. And we'll back it down so we can kind of talk a little. Alright, so there he is. I mean, and you can see he's standing no problem. He hasn't fallen over on me. Now I turn him around. This is the back view. A very nice cape, and this is something that you don't really see. Well, you see capes with the DC Classics, but they're not this long. And to my knowledge, I don't think this cape has been reused. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. Like I said, a very, very cool figure. So let's talk a little bit about paint. As far as paint goes, he's got, I mean, his S right here is not painted. This is actually all chromed out. It's very, very shiny as the light kind of catches it like that. Very impressive. You can see it's got a mirror in it. So you can see my MU Collector Club shirt. Thank you, Alchemist, again for that. He's a guy on our website who did some t-shirts for us. He has white eyes, and we kind of zoom in on the face sculpt. White eyes on the face. He's got the rivets going up. He's got the silver details right there on the side. His armor is like a silver, but it's kind of like a dirty silver, and that's all I got. And I got rivets. There it goes. The paint on his body piece, where you can see right here, like his arms and his chest, it's like a pewter type of color, like a dark silver. And he's got these other pieces on here that are a light silver, so it's very, very cool, the paint scheme. And then on his legs, he's also got the pewter going down. He's got this nice belt. I would have liked to see the belt maybe done in the same chrome, but I'm fine with the way it is, because that chrome really does stand out. It's really, really nice. I can't stress that enough. If you have an option to get this version over the other one, spend the extra money and get this one. It's really well worth it. He's got, the boots are very, very nice. You can kind of see he's got the rivets in there on the boot. He's got this piping coil that goes from his boot up to his belt area. So that's very, very nice. I'm going to turn around the back. Again, the back is very nicely done as well. Not that you're ever going to see the back, because who's going to lift their cape up like that at all times? And then he's got this like silver, almost like a soul patch going down to his abdomen. Very, very cool. And you can kind of see right there how the emblem is just kind of glued on. So overall, as far as like paint on steel, oh, I forgot to talk about his cape. His cape, it's not just a regular red cape like you would see on Superman. His cape has actually got some like dark dry brushing in here. It's got a worn look to it. It's a nice material, very bendable plastic, so you can kind of get him in some really nice poses, and we'll talk about that when we get into articulation. But as far as like paint goes, I get the figure a 10 out of 10. I mean, they nailed it. This looks exactly like the steel I remember from reading the Reign of Superman comics, when Superman died and then came back. And there were 4 Superman running around. You didn't know which one was Superman. Totally awesome job on the paint, you know, and the sculpt. The sculpt is perfect. It wouldn't change a thing. It's incredible. So let's talk about articulation, because this is not your normal DC Classic figure. So let's take a look and see what he's got. So for the head, it can go up about that far. It's on a ball. It does spin. You can kind of get him that, what are you talking about, pose, which is cool. You know, so he's kind of like, say, what? Sorry. He can look down pretty well. He can, like I said, look up. He does have an ab crunch, or an ab joint, so it goes down about that far. So you can kind of get him, you know, looking down quite a bit. Which is very, very cool. And he goes up quite a bit. I mean, that's pretty, I mean, it's kind of hard to see with the cape, but that joint is going up pretty well. He has a waist swivel, so he does swivel at the waist. His arms, well, his arms are on the balls at the top, but they only go up about that far, because this here is not, it's a soft plastic, but it doesn't allow too much for it to go up. That's kind of a hindrance. Bicep swivel, single bend at the elbow, and this is something that's different. He has a spin joint right here on his left wrist, and then he also has a spin joint on the wrist itself. That's kind of cool, so you can kind of get him in a pose where he's like actually firing out of his wrist, which is kind of cool. Okay, his other arm doesn't have that wrist blaster on it, so that's a little different, but he does have a spin up there, and there's no actual spin on the wrist. That's it. So his wrist does spin pretty well, as my background kind of falls, and I just lost his hammer. So his wrist does spin kind of well. As far as his leg articulation, now you would think this coil you'd really need to have, you'd have a problem with it. It actually works very well. It goes up about that far, it goes back about that far, and it can go out. Not that you would ever have him pose like that. He has a swivel at the thigh, but you do want to be careful because you don't want to stress that joint too much. Single joint at the elbow, or I'm sorry, at the knee. His ankle will go up that far, back that far, and one of my favorite features of this figure, he has a little ankle pivot, ankle rocker, so that when you pose him, his ankles will stand straight, which is very, very important. Okay, so like I was talking about, his hammer. Now, if you look at the way his hands are molded, they're molded in, they both have circles, you know. So you can pose him with his hammer, you just have to kind of slide it through his hands. He doesn't have an open joint like other characters, other figures, so like you could pry his hand open and get the hammer. in his hand. But that's okay. It works out pretty well. Usually when I have him pose, I don't have the hammer in both hands like that. I like just posing in one. And I kind of twist it down. And I usually do it kind of like that. So he's kind of like ready for battle. You know, I mean, that's how he's usually sitting on my Justice League shelf with my other Justice League figures. So overall, Steel, very, very cool figure. If you don't have him, I would definitely recommend him. He is kind of pricey, especially for this version. I paid $34 shipped, which is a little more than I wanted to pay, but I really got tired of waiting. All the ones I saw were going over $40 on card, and I'm a loose collector, so you know, I grabbed one. It was a buy it now. It just popped up on eBay and I grabbed it. So overall, Steel's a great figure. If you guys don't have him, I definitely recommend you check him out. Also, again, make sure you come check us out on mucollectorclub.com, where we talk about toys, comics, action figures, you know, you name it, we talk about it. There's a bunch of great guys out there. We'd love to have you come join us too. Alright, that's it for tonight. For now, anyway. Stay tuned for more reviews. I actually have a couple more I'm going to do tonight of some Marvel Universe figures, so hope you guys come back and check those out. Alright, this has been US Agent 27. Thanks.